Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. The United Arab Emirates has accepted an invitation to join United States President Donald Trump's newly proposed Board of Peace, making Abu Dhabi one of the first governments to publicly endorse the initiative. The UAE Foreign Ministry said the Emirates stood ready to contribute actively to the mission of the Board of Peace, supporting greater cooperation, stability, and prosperity for all, marking formal alignment with Washington's new conflict resolution effort. India will withdraw its diplomats' families and dependents from Bangladesh in the face of security threats as tension rises ahead of a February 12th general election. Campaigning begins on Thursday for Bangladesh's election, which has sparked protests and counter-protests. An Indian official said India's withdrawal move was part of internal readjustments. The official pointed to Indian media reports of New Delhi's decision. It was not immediately clear when the families would return. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has discussed developments in Syria and Gaza with US counterpart Donald Trump in a telephone call, as Syria's Turkey-backed government announced a ceasefire with US-allied Kurdish forces after days of clashes. The Turkish presidency said in a statement, President Erdogan stated that Turkey was closely following developments in Syria, that Syria's unity, harmony, and territorial integrity were important for Turkey. Earlier, Trump said he had a very good call with Erdogan, without elaborating. Thousands of US workers and students march through cities and university campuses in opposition to the immigration policies of President Donald Trump. On the first anniversary of Trump's second term, protests sprang up across the country against his aggressive immigration crackdown that prompted outrage after federal agents dragged a US citizen from her car and shot her dead in Minneapolis in past weeks. Hundreds of protesters gathered in Washington and smaller cities like Asheville, North Carolina, where demonstrators marched through the downtown. Iran's National Security Parliamentary Commission has made it clear that any attack on Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei would trigger a declaration of jihad, or holy war. The warning comes as tensions with the United States rise following Iran's deadly crackdown on nationwide protests, after President Donald Trump cautioned that Washington could respond. The Commission said an attack on Khamenei would be treated as war against the entire Islamic world, requiring a jihad decree and mobilization across Muslim countries. European leaders meeting in Davos are seeking a united response to President Donald Trump's push to take over Greenland as tensions rise over threatened US tariffs on European allies. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Europe must respond to what she called seismic global shifts, arguing the pace of change has created a consensus for greater European independence. Meanwhile, Belgium's Prime Minister, Bart de Wever, said the EU now stands at a crossroads, warning that efforts to appease Washington over Ukraine have left the bloc in a weak position. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has said that sovereignty, borders and democracy are not up for negotiation, as US President Donald Trump doubled down on his push to control Greenland. Frederiksen warned the worst may still lie ahead after Trump said there was no going back on his goal, refusing to rule out force. The dispute over Greenland is straining NATO unity and reviving fears of a renewed trade war with Europe. About 200 low-level Islamic State fighters have reportedly escaped Syria's Shaddadi prison after guards from the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces left the facility. Syrian government forces later recaptured many of them. around 600 foreign ISIS fighters had been transferred out earlier and remain in detention. Damascus and the SDF have traded blame for the escape, underscoring fragile tensions despite a ceasefire reached days earlier. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.